for Mothermary and for Sam?
One of the crazy things about making this movie is that we didn't get together, all three of us together, until very shortly before we started shooting. We had a few, I think 2 weeks where we got to rehearse in Germany where we filmed it, but we met up in New York a month before that to read through the script, and that was the first time I was in a room with them together and kind of feeling what that energy was. Prior to that, I had, sort of just trusted the idea that like whatever the energy is going to be, it's going to be good. And part of that is when you're casting and you're meeting people, you just get a sense that they are the right person for that part. And they're incredible actors. Like, so starting there, like, I knew that the performances were going to be incredible. But I also felt like when I imagined seeing the two of them together, it implied a history that was so rich and so fascinating in its own right that could have been, their backstory could have been an entirely different movie. And that made me lean in. And sometimes when you're casting, you just are looking for the opportunity that makes you lean in. And then you just trust that whatever's going to happen is going to be incredible. And of course, when you cast actors like Michaelacoel and Annehathaway, it is going to be incredible. And I still think back to that first read through and how much I learned about the movie in that, like just hearing them say those words the first time, it was like, oh, this is what we're making. And it was what I thought we were making, but it attained like 18 new dimensions over the course of that read through.
And what was because their characters are such polar opposites that complement each other, right? Not just in their creative pursuits and personas, but also in the way that they perform them, the way that they move on the stage, on the screen.
Yeah.
What approach did both of them have? Did they work very independently, kind of without talking to each other about it, or was it a collaborative process as Anne was training to become a pop star?
Yeah.
And Michaela was learning to become a designer or to think like a designer?
It was pretty independent, and that again goes into the trust of feeling like I can cast these incredible artists and not worry about the two of them ever being in a room together until we get to Germany, because I realized at a certain point that the further apart they were, the better it would be for the movie. The built-in distance of like, I haven't seen her in 10 years, I was like, okay, great, we're gonna start from a point of distance between the two of them, of separation. And so we would come together for, rehearsing like 3 hours, and then we would go our separate ways, and I'd work with Michaela separately, I'd work with Anne separately. I'd go to Anne was spending so much time in the dance studio and doing vocal training, and that was an all-encompassing process in its own right. And then with Michaela, she did go work with Bina to learn, how to hold scissors properly. The things that when I'm writing them, I'm like, oh, it's just you cut fabric, and then you realize, oh, like actually I don't even know how to do this. And we learned that you can just make one cut and then tear it. It's very easy. But but we spent a lot of time talking about the characters or Sam in particular, and just where she's at in her life and we often spend a lot of time talking around the character, talking about how experiences we've had making films, creating with friends, with our families, and then that all kind of like informs the way that character emerges on the screen.